Hi, my name's Pat Wadzinski, and I'm principal at St. Alphonsus in Greendale. In my past life, I was a kindergarten teacher in Manitowoc, so I understood the basics of what we are moving toward here in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. I had the pleasure of visiting my classrooms and noticed the play was so important to the children, and that parent education was also equally important. My teachers took very careful steps to inform their parents about the importance of play, and also because we have a lot of parent participation, they were able to see play in action. The teachers got down on the floor with the children, they were doing anecdotal records, parents were able to sit on the floor and intermingle with the children, so that was a big part of our program. I highly recommend it. I think once you get comfortable with this and you realize that this is how our 4- and 5-year-olds truly learn, this will be an awakening. One thing that I found worked well with our class is that the teachers had blogs, and in their blogs they would give examples to the parents about what to do at home, how to play with them at home, and even over Christmas they had an assignment. That was to let their child play for a certain number of minutes and then play with their child. In fact, parents even sent emails back to the teachers complimenting them on their assignment because they learned a lot about their child at that time also. As a principal and former 5K teacher, I think this is something that will benefit our schools, benefit our parents.
All right, what are some positives that you have seen this year?
This year in my kindergarten classroom, I have noticed that my children are a lot more independent, not only completing daily tasks, but their interactions with one another when they're problem solving. They don't need me as the teacher to intervene as much. They're able to work through problems that might come about. When we're completing in our stations or during intentional playtime, they are more confident, they're more outgoing, they're more willing to take risks, and I think that's due to giving them more choices. They're feeling really safe and comfortable in the classroom, and because of that, they're willing to maybe try something new or work with another friend that they maybe haven't worked with before. Some challenges that I've noticed in our kindergarten classroom this year is just collecting good data on my students because we're not using a lot of traditional testing that we've done in the past. Finding ways that are manageable as a teacher that doesn't take away from my instruction time or doesn't take away from my interactions with the kids. So I've been really trying to find a system that works well for me. What works for me might not work for the other kindergarten teacher at my school or for other teachers, and just finding a way that I can really get to know my students but also have some data on them that's meaningful and will help guide their instruction.
What did you think of the new report card format?
This year, our school was one of the pilot schools, so we were able to introduce the new early childhood report card. At first, it was sort of overwhelming. The format of it was a little tricky. There was some, positioning problems, and then just transitioning to, not just narrative about, how they're excelling at math or reading, but also looking at the whole child. WeMos helped with that. It was overwhelming at first. There was a lot of information, but when we broke it down into the different domains, it was really helpful, and I thought that I was really able to get a good overall picture of my students. And I think the parents really appreciated that. So I didn't know just the academic side of, Jane. I knew that Jane, where she fit into the different WeMos domains and what we could work on, and giving them some positives and also some areas of to work on, I thought was really helpful. So overall, I thought it was a good transition, and I'm really excited to see where it'll go next year.
Hi, my name is Lauren Beckman. I'm the principal at St. Robert's School in Shorewood, and I'm delighted to have been invited to endorse our early childhood initiative from the vantage point of my own experience. I came to the principalship along an unconventional pathway that began in birth to 3 special education. The opportunity to work with therapists in a transdisciplinary intervention format enabled me to learn so much about child development, about neurophysiology and sensory integration, and remains to this day the lens through which I look at all learning. Most significantly at this very early level, the focus is on the learning process itself as distinct from the content and skills that become our learning outcomes in elementary school. So for me, kindergarten has always been that bridge between the worlds of process and content. And what I see in our Catholic schools is this. In our very well-meaning attempt to provide high standards of excellence across the spectrum, we have taken a wrong turn and effected a downward shift of elementary curriculum and elementary level instructional strategies into our early childhood programs. If we want to develop intellect instead of just academics, and I'm sure you'll agree that we do, if we want to develop the lifelong dispositions for inquiry and problem solving and deep thinking, then we must correct course. We have to acknowledge that we won't get there through heavy doses of large group instruction and worksheets and homework. We won't even get there through fancy tools like iPads and smart boards. We need to honor the natural way that young children learn, which is through play and exploration, through problem creation and problem solution. And we need to fiercely honor and preserve this authentic learning, most especially for our economically disadvantaged populations who may not have had a rich foundation of play before they come through our doors. Transforming our programs will require a more scientific understanding of child development and new roles for the teacher. You will become a manager of intentionally designed environments and a facilitator of each child's next learning steps. But it will also free you to be creative and playful and take you back, I think, to the things that first attracted you to teaching at this level. Thank you so much for your commitment to this important endeavor, and God bless you in your work. Go play.